Invite every teeny one more time, and then we'll invite Frank again. Oh, my stream works. If it's unchosen, you just join. I'm gonna be very I'm gonna have a stern word with him because I need him to come back. Billie Jean is not my lover. Oh yeah, we're gonna have to start soon. You know what? I'm sorry to Shang. We may have to just start without him joining Quali. I can't lie. Everyone's readied up, so. Oh, nice. How's that work? How do you even do that? Hi, Fabian, in the chat. Um, if it ends up being you, that'd be very funny. Anyway. Ooh, I can't wait to commentate this race. Just a warning to anyone who wants to mute me now is your chance because I am the commentator. Anyway, that's very tough. Let's go. Oh, thank you. Graham Cracker is my go. Colton is my go. This new year, new me. Anyway, let's do this, guys. So, welcome to NPL Season 14 Race 5 Jeddah, where we are here with 13 people, potentially 14 if Shank joins and if Eric J. Bettini joins. From what I gather, he has actually... Oh, he can't race, he says. Fuck you mean. Anyway, so it looks as though we're going to have a maximum of 14 people, which is pretty good for a Saturday race. That's by far the most people we've had on a Saturday so far this season. Well, not really. It's one more than Singapore, but still. Excited to see how this race goes. We have Riley. Ain't no Riley, bro. Also, before going into this race, anyone who watches NPL who isn't a part of the league chat will notice that Hubert is at Mercedes and Graham Crackers is now at Red Bull. And that's because we've had some driver changes in the middle of the season while we still can. And we see Hubert now is no longer a reserve driver. He's now finally has a full-time seat at Mercedes. And we have Graham Crackers at Red Bull. And he crashed in qualifying right as about on his onboard. There is no fucking way. I cut to his onboard and he hits the fucking wall. Anyway, Ski expected to get pole. I don't know who I'd say, but I'd say Dan is definitely one of the favourites for pole, along with Fabian. Luigi Penguin, watch out for him. He's going to be teaming to Dan today in the SM1. Finally has a teammate. He, of course, has only done one race in season 13 at Las Vegas. Was not the best race for him in the world because of all the chaos that there was in that race. We'll see him doing quite well. Lap times, I'm expecting a mid-26, sort of a 26.5. Might actually end up being pole, maybe a little bit higher. We shall see. A mid to high 26, depending on the track condition. Then again, we usually see better track conditions in qualifying in short quali online. So hopefully, the times that the drivers were getting in their short quali practice were probably not quite indicative of the pole laps they're going to be getting today. Can I get an invite again, says Shank? Yes, you can. Oh, I invited Luigi Penguin again, but I've had... That's not who I invited! You lying piece of shit! Oh, for fuck's sake. I hate this fucking game. I know, but I made me fucking somehow scroll to the top of my menu again and invited fucking Ethan Smith, who's my friend from high school. Anyway, Luigi Peng is starting a lap. I think he'll be the first one to start a lap, he is indeed, in the Aston Martin. They're wasting no time whatsoever getting into a lap here. Into turn one he goes, sends the car into the first corner. Very aggressive wheel inputs, I gotta say. But interesting to see how he does here, see what he does on his first run. first sector. We're looking at, I don't remember the sector times that are pretty competitive at this track, but Shenka's joined, there we go. It always happens when we start the session. You can join now with a car mid-session, and you can still get pole position. Potentially, of course, Pshenk is one of the championship contenders, of course, second in the standings, tied second. Yes, Pshenk has joined, that's very good news. Tied second in the standings is Pshenk now with Ski, also known as British Boy, down in P8 currently in qualifying. Yet to set a time, obviously. Pretty decent first sector, actually, from Luigi Penkin. Let's see what he can manage through the middle sector now. Looks like a very nice and smooth lap. Not necessarily going for the most aggressive or quick lap in the world for the first attempt. Of course, he's going to save the best runs till the end. But Luigi Penkin so far doing pretty well. And his return to NPL, good to see him back. Here's Felix on board. He doesn't seem to be on a lap at the moment, but he does say here, I think he may have backed out of a lap. Here comes Dan. Yeah, a wonderful first sector. 2/10 quicker than his teammate. Looking pretty quick today in the Aston Martin. Both drivers looking to get a podium potential. We can see a double Aston Martin podium for the first time since Season 5 Singapore. It's a fun fact for you. Should be a very interesting statistic. Yeah, Max won the race with Ethan in second as a 1-2 for Aston Martin that day, with Tyson third. Tyson actually spun out a second on the line. It's a 27.3 banker lap from Luigi Penkin. That's a great lap to start off with. What is everyone else going to manage there? Dan may have had an issue with the final sector himself, or maybe not. Goes second fastest behind his teammate. Wow, so he spun as Luigi Penkin. Bonfire goes third, very narrowly missing out on second there on Dan at the start of the session with a 27.7. Dan there, not the greatest final sector there, but still puts himself in that fight nonetheless. Is Hubert going to manage a decent lap here? Gets a 1 minute 30.7, 129.90 there for Kimi now in P4. What's John going to manage across the line? 153.7, that is hot cross buns. Fucking hell, John. Anyway, what else is there? Felix 47.3. Pshenk's on loud lap, but we do indeed have 14 people. Drax goes into P6 ahead of Felix, the 32.8. And there goes Fabian to P2 with a 27.3, still provisional pole for Luigi Penguin. Looking pretty good for him. In his second start in NPL. You can try. I mean, considering your lap down, I think you could definitely beat that on a used tyre, I've got to be honest with you. But meanwhile, Bonfair is just parked in the middle sector. There's a Mercedes going past, and his teammate who spins around in the first sector there. I don't know what he was doing, but he spins around. Please don't impede anyone. That would not be tough. There is indeed an Aston Martin coming through. I don't know if it's down or not. I think it's... Oh no, it's a Williams. It's Dervas, I think, on an outlap. Oh no, it was Pshenk. Oh no, Pshenk's on his outlap on the last sector. Ski there on a lap because it was 1 minute. It's 1 minute 0.9 in the middle sector. That's alright. That's a little bit slower than Dan, but the last sector should come together for Ski here, and he could maybe go for. But he hasn't got enough battery, I don't think, to really have a competitive last sector. So we'll see where he slots in here. I reckon he'll be around about P2, maybe P3 on this first run. Let's have a look. Out the final corner. Oh, a bit squirrely there. There's wheel inputs. Well, he's obviously using a controller, so just a little bit janky. We shall see. I know he's watching the stream, but it's quite funny to say. Oh, he goes P5 with a 28.0 behind Bonfire, slots in P5. This driver tied second in the standings with Schenk, who's currently down P13 yet to set a time, but he's on a lap right now. Meanwhile, John goes 6th quickest now with a 1 minute 28.3, a second off of the fastest time from Luigi Penguin. And Hubert there, getting on. Hey, what, John? That was indeed a very poo-poo lap, but it was not as bad as it could have been, so still... It's early in the session, a lot of drivers making mistakes. Jeddah is a track where you see a lot of mistakes in qualifying. Yellow flags are out for some reason on the main straight. Ground crack is already dead. Unfortunately, we'll have to start at the back of the field for Red Bull, and his debut for the team crashes out in the first minute of the session. Quite funny, I've got to say. Shank on a lap here, has done no practice for this race from what I've heard, and is currently driving around, enjoying his life, still somehow a championship contender despite not trying this season. Shank is just metronomically consistent. Let's see what he manages. Middle sector's 1 minute 1.1. That's about 2/10 slower than Ski's middle sector, so he's looking to get around about P5, P6, maybe pick 6, 7 sort of position. 6, 7. Let's see what he manages here. Dervas is also on a lap. His teammate, 32.8 first sector, not bad. Ruben now comes out of the pit exit, and he's going to try a lap in the Alpine. The only Alpine driver to race today, Levy, is not attending, and there was no reserve driver for him. Schenk does a 1 minute 28.0 and just narrowly misses out on Ski. Almost identical laps there. 7 thousandths of a second between Ski and Schenk on that lap. Which is obviously, it's quite funny actually. Very indicative of how close they are in the standings, of course. Fabian, your championship leader for the first time in his career, is currently on a lap. He's 11 thousandths up on his lap. He actually lost time in the middle sector there. He lost about a tenth from his first sector from what I saw on the data there. In that beautiful chrome McLaren livery. Heading through the final sector now, using the DRS. He's not got much battery to use though. Once again, battery usage just seems to be the issue the drivers have in this session. 10 minutes of waiting, fuck's sake. Oh, big slide by Fabian out the final corner, and he backs out. He's going to head into the pit lane. Silverstone, I think. Was it? Yeah, it was. It was. Or was it Singapore? I don't remember. By the way, Dervas did 28.8. Or was it Kota? What was the car that they crashed with? They crashed together in 2025 and there's like white, orange, and black liveries, isn't there? Yeah, there's a different livery. What the fuck? I don't know when they used it. I swear it was like early in the season. Boy, what the flip? Boy, Tiesto tab. Taking this Ruben on in the Alpine, setting up this first lap of the session. Felix hasn't not set a competitive time yet, but I think he's on outlet now to try another run. Here comes Ruben on. He's been pretty good this season, actually. One of the drivers I've seen improve quite a lot, along with the likes of Bonfo and Jan. We'll see what Ruben on can do here today. Kimi also, I forgot to mention, is on his first race of the season for Sauber since he became a full-time driver. In that beautiful, almost like it's like a cow, that livery, the way it has a black patches all over it. The green cow livery. He's going there in P9, currently with a 29.0, battling with Dervas for P8. He's cutting corners on his outlap, trying to pass the time. And Bonfo there, meanwhile, is going into a lap. My setup is so fucking oversteery, says Ski, and I can see that from the way he's been driving, because he's really struggling with the stability of the car. He needs to turn down that front wing to give the car some stability in the corners, which may cost him outright lap time, but probably going to be worth it in the long run. Whoa, very committed from Bonfo there in the first sector. He managed there. It's a pleasant surprise to see Luigi Penguin ahead of Dan, who is of course a championship contender. Very committed first sector from Bonfo. This looks like a pretty good lap so far. How is he looking on the Delta? Holy shit, that was a good first sector by Bonfo. Okay, this is pole lap looking territory for Bonfo. Genuinely has a lot of battery and is half a second up in the first sector. That is crazy. Let's see what he manages here. Sending the lap. This is the lap of his career so far. A little bit of a dodgy exit, but he got too much on the curve there, but it's still a really good lap from Bonfo so far. This could genuinely be the pole lap for Bonfo here at Jeddah, a track that he didn't really sound too confident about in the interviews earlier today. He's lost a bit of time, but he's still 3/10 up, and as it stands, it's very plausible he could go for pole position here, at least provisional pole, in the early stage of the session. By the way, these lap times are already quicker than the lap times we saw in Season 12, when we last had this sort of rule. For track limits, of course, the track limit rules were different last season. They didn't really give a fuck about them. We had a 26.2 pole lap by Dan in the Williams. Might have been a 26.0, I don't remember. But now in the low 27s. And it is provisional pole for Bonfo. 27.2. Great lap. Half a second quicker. I did not expect that. Bonfo, of course, never on pole position in his career. A career best pole position. Oh, sorry, a career best qualifying position of P4. Already on provisional pole here in Jeddah, out of nowhere. He looks like a genuine contender for the top 5 in the standings this season. And I've been saying this because if he can keep up that consistency, he will be up there every race. His race pace in Abu Dhabi wasn't most desirable, but he certainly did have a wonderful qualifying in that race. And we saw him have a first career podium in Bahrain. We should see him doing quite well on these Middle Eastern tracks throughout the season, by the looks of things. That's what we should expect. Anyway, here comes Luigi Penguin into a lap now, the driver who was on provisional pole until he was snatched away by Bonfo. Let's see what he manages here. Who was that just did a lap? Was that Kimi? It is indeed. 128.4. Good lap from Kimi there. Goes into 8th fastest ahead of Felix, who also went into 28.7. Just had a Dervas. He's now P10 in the session. Hubert there invalidated his lap. He's not going to be doing any more of improvement. Ruben on as well. Comes in with a 29.4 his best run. And Drag's currently on a 32. Okay, what am I doing, says Ski. I think he may... Oh, wow. He was 6/10 up, and then he fumbled. It did Ski, apparently. He would have got him a 27.4, which would have been enough for P4 in the session, actually. But now he's in P5 anyway with a 27.8, so not necessarily the best quality pace. These guys getting mid-26s. I don't know how they're doing this, but we're going to see some big improvements in lap time here. Already Luigi Penguin is a 10th up in the first sector. Let's see what he manages in the middle sector now. Using the battery carefully. Good battery usage from Luigi Penguin in this session so far. So 2 drivers on the front row currently that have never been on the front row before. Very interesting session we're seeing. As it stands, this will be provisional pole for Luigi Penguin. Looking to get into the 26s, the first one to dip a toe in the 26s in the session. Let's see if he can manage it. Is the car giving him a toe? Is that Drags? Tell me it doesn't impede him, thank God. Or was that Kimi actually? It was Drags. Drags has a habit of impeding people. Abu Dhabi last season. But, continuing on. down the straight. What can Luigi Penguin manage here? Is this going to be enough for a provisional pole? It is a 26.9, just about gets to 26 and does go into provisional pole once again. So it's a battle between Bonfer and Luigi Penguin so far. Shank goes third fastest with a 27.3, 4 thousandths quicker than his title rival Fabian. Great lap from him. This is a very interesting qualifying session, so competitive up top. Generally, about 5 people who could go for pole position today. That was a wonderful lap from Shank, almost 7 tenths quicker. And yeah, that was one of the best laps of the session so far. And let's see what Fabian, he's in the pit lane still. John's on the lap. He's 3 tenths up. He's looking to get into the 27s here. Middle sector supposedly for John. He's half a second up. Seeing huge improvements on these laps here. So John looking pretty good. I think John managed. Who's done track limits? Yeah, he is. He just did a lap. He did 27.3. He went third fastest. He's only 4 tenths off, or just under 4 tenths off of the provisional pole time from Luigi Penguin, who looks like a genuine contender for the race win even at this rate. See, 28, it is 28.1. Lost a bit of time at the end there, did John. He lost about 3 tenths, but still a good, decent time to keep him in P7. 3 tenths now ahead of Kimi in P8. Oh man, I didn't even see that. It's a shame for John. He lost a lot of time of tapping the wall in the last corner, he said. And Dervas was going to head into a lap, I think. I think he backed out straight away, though, because he's not going very quickly now. Drags is on a lap, I think. Drags on a great lap, actually. He's half a second up. What can Drags manage here on this second attempt of a lap? Goes 6 times quicker, gets a 31.9. Still way off the rest of the field, but still a good position. Oh, he retires from the session. Fair enough. Now, who else is going to come out onto the track? We saw a huge improvement from Shanks. The track is evolving, I'd say, maybe. Bonfer, they're on an out lap now. Can Bonfer go quicker and get into the 26s himself? That would be a very great feat for Bonfer in the session. How long's left? Can't see. There's a car stopped. Is that Hubert? Who's that Salva that's just stopped? Is that Drags? Oh, it's Drags AI collision parked. There we go. So we have 3.5 minutes left to go in the session. John is coming towards the final corner now to come into the pit lane. Or is he going to stay out and do another lap? I don't think he will with this much battery, but we'll see. He's going to come into the pit entry. Now, and he gets reset into the pit entry there. And Dervas. Is it good? I watched his lap on my stream if you want to review it, but from what I saw it was very minimal, so I don't think it was track limits personally. What? He did not go off that much, so he didn't cut any corners or anything. No, he was just really committed. He just like used the whole width of the track. He was a little bit wide on the last part of the S's, but that was it. He actually got beached on the curb on the exit of turn 3, or whichever corner it is. The fast left-hander. So he actually lost time from that probably. So generally he's just way quicker. No, Shank, look on the stream. Bonfer's lap is actually on the stream if you want to watch this first sector. Let's watch this lap anyway. It's on the stream now if you want to watch it. Let's look at Bonfer's first sector. It's probably using too high wings. Oh no, there's a McLaren coming out the pit lane right as he started his lap. But I think he got away with that. I don't know if it's an improvement though. Heading down through the first sector now, he's got an Alpine in front of him. Very committed, oh that's Mercedes, sorry. That was much cleaner from Bonfer in that turn 4 there. Oh, he's going to beach on the curb, yes he does, and that ruins his lap. Oh, such a shame for Bonfer there. He was too committed and made a mistake when he really needed not to. Let's see what we see from the rest of the drivers. What's Fabian match? He's on his out lap, Dan is 2. So there it is, Dan looking to get back in the title fight, 25 points off the championship leader Fabian and right in front of him in the session currently. On the 27.6 so far. Hubert has retired from the session meanwhile, I think he crashed. Is that Felix who went past him just now? I think he did it on purpose. Where's Alpine? Yeah, elite ball knowledge needed. Me and John just had exactly the same. 4 soft for the race. What? Shank has 4 softs for the race? What does that mean? Yeah, Graham Grex has a lot of soft tyres to use. He may as well just do every single stint on softs. Oh, Bonfer retires from the session. I don't think he had enough fuel to do another lap, I don't think. Maybe that's why he sort of chose not to try again, but that's it for Bonfer. He's going to be at best in P2, but I do think we're going to see a lot of way quicker times at this stage, to be honest with you. We've seen drivers deep into the 26s in qualifying, and we have Luigi Penguin who's on provisional pole. Can he get a first career pole position, just his second start in NPL? That would be a great feat for him. Shades of Eliza in Aston Martin. I have one medium, one hard for the race only. So, oh no, so Shank's strategy options are pretty there's nil here. He's only really got one option, which is just do medium hard or hard medium either way. Just those two compounds. Soft tires are not going to be good for him. He's used all of his sets. So here comes Fabian into the first set, looking pretty smooth so far. Nothing too punchy, but he's definitely looking very smooth here. The championship leader by 6 points heading to this race on 69 points. Nice. And look, that was a beautiful first set from Fabian. Look how smooth he is through there. Very precise inputs all the way through that first sector. He's already 2.5 tenths up in the first sector, which is enough to get him on the front row. Let's see here if he continues to improve his lap. And the session has ended now. Pshenk will finish in P3 as he's in the pit lane. And what's Dan looking like through the first sector? I didn't see his first time. Apparently it's purple, it says on the screen. Fabian there with a very nice line through that corner. Dan going to manage, very committed through that turn. Just the same. This is just so much more. Dan looks so much more committed than anyone else at the moment. Felix retires from the session. Fabian there is on a great lap himself. He's 4 tenths up. Fabian's looking quick enough to go for pole position here. So is Dan. He had a wonderful first. He's half a second up. Is Dan. That's a great lap. He's going to put himself in the 26s at this rate. And his last sector was his biggest problem. So this could be an absolutely monstrous lap from Dan. And Luigi Penguin, his teammate, is also 2 tenths up. So we're going to see some really good times here at the very end of the session. I'm looking for some mid-26s here. Let's look at Luigi Penguin's lap first. Across line is going to come. Is that John in front? Is that Fabian? Is Fabian goes second fastest? He can't get enough. And it's Luigi Penguin goes quickest again with a 26.7. What can Dan get now? He goes fastest on pole, but it's a 1-2 for Aston Martin. It's a 26.6 for Dan. And no skis out of the session at the end. He gets a 27.8 and goes 6th fastest. Fuck my chungus life, he says. Here comes John. He's invalidated his lap. And that means it's a 1-2 for Aston Martin for the first time ever in NPL history. Wonderful scenes. Both of you, really good laps there. Both the only drivers to get in the 26s were the Aston Martins in the end. What a great lap from both of them. Dan was absolutely on the right edge there and gets pole position for the team. And Luigi Peng will be a great rear gunner to help him get the career victory today. His 11th win in his career. This is going to be a wonderful race, I have a feeling. Don't discount Fabian though. Wonderful lap from Dan. He was 3 tenths up in the first sector alone. 3.5 even. Really good lap from Dan. Very committed lap. So, and I obviously didn't break the record in NPL, but in terms of actual clean laps, that was definitely the record. 26.6 is a wonderful lap from Dan in the Aston Martin. I think the best I could have done was like a 26.8, to be honest, so I would have got third at best. So, fair enough, really. Both of you, yeah, but incredible laps. Well, you have the same as last season, Dan. Oh, yeah. You got pole in Singapore? Oh, yeah, you did. No, it was Fabian that got pole in Qatar last season. You got one pole last season, Dan. It was just Jeddah. Nice. Here we go. I'm excited for this race. This is going to be a wonderful race at Jeddah, a track that usually provides quick races because of the nature of the track. So quite a short lap time in comparison to how long the lap is in terms of each lap, because it's a 3.7 mile long track. Let's have a look. So, this is going to be 25 laps for the 50% race here for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix at Jeddah. We have 14 drivers, and we have your championship leader Fabian starting down in P3. Dan looking to claw back his disadvantage in the championship with the pole position today. An extra point to his name. Brings that gap down already to 24 points heading into the race here today. And we have Canada tomorrow on the track that he got pole position in last time we went there in season 12. So Dan looking like a real contender now at the moment in the season with 2 poles already this season in the first 5 races. We have a formation lap upcoming, and we have a lot to look forward to today. Dan going very defensive into turn 1. Is he going to outbrake himself? Oh, he brakes perfectly into the first corner, leads the way by 700 seconds over Luigi Penguin in second place. What a start. Anyway, so Bonfro matches his career best his career best qualifying position with P4. We have a ski down in P6 behind his title rival Pshenk, who's in P5. Fabian, the championship leader, in P3, looking to have a good start to the race today. Well, now, the real question is, will Luigi Penguin act as a rear gunner for Dan, who is a championship contender here today, wink wink, and will he defend against the other drivers? Luigi Penguin is going to help Dan. This is going to be a very interesting race. Let's have a look at the tyre compounds for each of the drivers here today. The only drivers starting on the hards are the drivers at the back of the field, which are Drags and Graham Crackers. Everyone else on the mediums, opting for the mediums to start on the race, it's going to be the best tyre to get out of the way because the mediums will be useful to get rid of. I don't know, man. So, some notable stories today. With Hubert and Graham Crackers that are not getting into the top 10 in their first races for their new teams. Let's see how that goes. Hubert, now a Mercedes driver, an official Mercedes driver, no longer a reserve. Good to see that he finally has a seat in the series when he's done so many races as a reserve driver. And John there, absolutely pulling a gap. This is really showing us why he was the deserving champion of Season 10. This is absolutely goated stuff from John. Out of the final corner. And 11, of course. John, of course, would have won every single race if it weren't for me, but I wasn't there, so John obviously won the championship. Look how many cars are in the last sector right now. Look at this massive stack up we have here with all the midfield cars. Oh, Bomb got disqualified. Which one? Oh, that's Graham Crackers at the back of the field. He's really far behind. Sonny Hayes. I've not been this excited for an NPL race in a while. This is going to be such a sick race. I love Jeddah for racing. It's always one of the best tracks for that. And expect fireworks here today in Jeddah. We're going to see a lot of... Obviously, there's still a missile strike. Now we're going to see the fireworks. Let's see how this goes. Down there on pole position for the second time this season. He got pole in Singapore, looking to convert this into his first win. Would he be the first driver to convert pole to a win this season? Of course, Schenk was given the pole award in Bahrain, but started last because he got disqualified from qualifying. However, Dan can very much be the first driver to get a pole to a win version. So we'll see how this goes. He's got his teammate alongside him, the reserve driver Luigi Penguin, looking to establish himself in the league as a front-running driver, as he already has. Here we go. 5 laps coming out from the drivers for a 25-lap race in the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. And it is. La 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 la. Lights out and away we go. It's a good start from the front two. Is Dan going to get a good enough start to maintain lead into turn 1? His teammates right alongside him. And Dan gets a lovely start into the first corner, still leads the way. There's 3 wide behind them. And there's a big battle between Bonfo and Schenk for P4 now currently. Around the outside goes Ski trying to get past John once again. And they're still side by side now. And here comes Fabian to the outside of Luigi Penguin, who just managed to stay alongside him. Meanwhile, side by side in this first sector between, I think that's John and Ski off the track there. Here comes Kimi now side by side with John for P7. And as Kimi, what the fuck? Kimi, I should say, gets pushed out wide. Kiwi gets pushed out wide. Felix in P8 there. The driver who got fastest lap last season is now in P8 already. Good start from him. Change of positions in the first lap. Down 2 places for Kimi, not the best start, but Dervas already ran the outside for P9. Can Twindia go into P9 on the first lap? Look, great racing in the midfield here between them. And he's still right behind and continuing on their way. So the field spreading out already at the front of the field. It's Dan pulling away now already, trying to pull away from his teammate Luigi Penguin, who has Fabian for company in P3. He's very fast in these races. Here comes Schenk as well. He's right on the tail of these guys. So too is Ski, who has John for company behind him. So Schenk looking to make quick work of Bonfo to get himself into this race for the win. He's going to use some battery trying to go for a move here. He's got a great exit off this corner. And so does John on Ski. Ski, of course, who came off 2 wins back-to-back last weekend. Can he do the same today? He's trying his best to fend off John. Looks like he has the battery to do so. John sends it around the outside in the final corner. At turn 27, can he go for it? They're still side by side. Nice racing between them. And off the corner they come, just falling out in front of him. But this is going to give the slipstream to John down the straight. And Schenk's up to P4, by the way. He had a great start. Down fastest lap than his teammate right behind. They're both going to work together to pull away, I'm assuming, from these guys. A bit of a lock up there from Luigi Penguin. The rear locking caused him to slide into turn 1. Fabian there behind. Schenk also trying to chase him down. He's still within DRS range of the leading cars. But struggling to stay with him at the moment. John there is side by side with Ski, but Ski gets in front once again into P6. Battling for P6, 7. And let's see what else happens here. Kimi there right behind Dervas. Battling for P9. Close battle on track is actually between John and Ski here at the moment. Ski there struggling to stay close to Bonfo in P5. He's 1.1 seconds behind, trying to save battery. We saw him have some good pace in the preseason race at Jeddah when he was battling with Dan. Can he do the same today? He's probably going to be trying to go for a long first stint potentially. We'll see what he manages. I think he's just keeping the tyres nice and crisp in this early part of the stint. He is very good at saving his tyres, of course, is Ski, so he's going to go for the long run, I'm assuming. Here comes Luigi Penguin now on his teammate Dan, who is just trying anything he can to pull away from the field and away from Fabian, who looks pretty comfortable in P3 at the moment. But so far, not too many battles. Meanwhile, look at John battling with Felix. Right as I say that, here comes Felix now. Almost to the back of John. It's a battle for P7. They're so close together now. And Felix right behind John. He just did not seem to have the best of exits down there. I don't know what happened, but he lost a lot of time in that battle. Luigi Penguin there, still right behind Dan, who is trying what he can to defend. From the cars behind, Dan leading the way once again, as he did in Singapore in the opening laps. Oh, here comes Fabian, another great exit off the corner, but he gets a little bit of wheel spin, and that cost him the exit that he needed. And now Luigi Penguin is right on his tail. But this is going to get interesting to see what the Aston Martins do. It's fastest lap for Fabian. Schenk is even quicker. He looks very quick at the moment. And Dan, they're doing a good job to fend off Luigi Penguin in P2 on lap 3 out of 25. Here comes Felix though, and John once again down the inside. Dervas in that fight too. Big lockup from Felix in turn 1. And that's going to give John the chance to go back past into P7. Yes, it does. Here comes Dervas as well. Can he make a move? He's going to go down the inside. Oh, the door closes there as Felix moves to the inside. That was quite aggressive and almost into the back of him he goes. And Kimi there hits the back of Dervas in the first sector as well. Big train racing here down in the battle for P7. But Ski still struggling. Oh, he goes on the curve and makes a huge mistake. And Ski there really struggling. The driver who won the last 2 races is really struggling to stay in this fight. It seems to be a curse for whoever wins the previous races. Has an issue. Yeah, flag in the front of the field. What happened? Why was there a yellow flag? Something happened. Was it Kimi? No, Kimi spun around. And he's down to P13 now with his teammate Drags. Oh no, he's got damage to the front wing on the right side of his car. There's Kimi there. He must have hit the wall on the outside of the track. Must be the water. The pressure is piling on Dan here. He's got his teammate behind. There's train racing there. He's really struggling to keep his teammate at bay here. This could be an interesting dynamic here as Fabian is right in this fight as well. So Dan's going to have to do what he can to defend from his teammate and also from Fabian behind. He's going to be chasing him down. But the train racing going well so far for these guys. Well, I recommend a 1-stop, but you can try a 2-stop if you want. Yeah, it depends what the race looks like. I would predict a safety car today. It's a pretty safe bet. Here comes Luigi Penguin on his teammate now. Is he going to go past Dan into turn 1? Defend off Fabian. Is he going to go for it? Side by side for the race lead between the 2 Aston Martins. Dan goes down inside. Here comes Fabian around the outside. And there's still side by side between them. Off the corner he comes. Schenk's in this fight too. It's a 4-way fight for the race lead, and Bonfer is not too far behind either. There's a huge fight behind. Yellow flags right out. Felix just crashed. And in the first corner, he's completely missed the first turn. Did he rear lock or something? He locked up in the previous lap, and now he's made a huge mistake. Down to P12 goes Felix. He did forget to brake. That's unfortunate. Very scary battle up front there. Look how close the top 4 are. Here comes Schenk now in this fight, trying to get past Fabian. He looks really racy in the Williams at the moment. Using battery in places he shouldn't. I think he is at the moment. Skido is slowly catching back up to Bonfo. Bonfo's right in this fight for the race lead as well. Bonfo looking racy here today in the Haas. Looking to get them the first win for the team since season 10, race 9 at Portugal. When they last went. Oh, sorry, it was Kiwi, I should say. Kiwi back in season 12, race 8, I believe it was, at Monza. Interesting stuff. BRT Kiwi, the Haas driver, the Ward Monza. His name is Kieran, but anyway. Here comes Luigi Penguin once again, there on Dan. The top guy's trying to say back. Oh, yeah, flags right. That Felix once again. Is that into the wall? That could be a safety car. He has got front wing damage. Is it enough to give a safety car? I don't think it is. Not even a VSC is the weird thing. But the closest battle on track is actually the battle for P3 now between Schenk and Fabian at the moment. And also the race for lead battle is looking pretty close too as Dan tries anything he can to fend off the cars behind. Yeah? Yes, it's very high tyre wear at this track. John is really struggling to save his tyres, and so is Dan actually up front, but so Fabian looks to be in a good position on tyre wear at the moment, as ever. Fabian is one of the best drivers in the race for that. Yeah, flags, is that, sorry? Devas battling with John in turn 1, side by side, right outside he goes, Devas gets P7 away from John. Yeah, Luigi Penguin does lock the brakes quite a bit. Oh, Fabian goes over the curve a little bit there, and that's going to give Schenk encouragement maybe on the exit of the corner. He's trying when he can to stay close, and Bonfer is still right in this fight. Schenk needs to be careful not to get too many warnings here. Let's have a look at the warnings. Is there any incidents so far? Warning for a collision with Bonfer. Track limits, though. John has got a warning. We've seen he's got 2, actually. No, he has got 1 warning. Oh, no, it was 2. So John looking pretty close to getting a penalty, actually, in P8, looking at the data. It's unfortunate. It's very easy to do that, to be fair. Skeeter's actually dropped off a cliff in pace compared to the leading cars. I don't know what's going on with Skeet today. He just looks a little bit off the pace today, to be honest, from the leading guys. And as it stands, Dan would gain a huge 10 points on Fabian. Who has the fastest lap? Actually, Fabian would have the fastest lap at the moment, I believe. So it would actually not be... He did get pulled, so it would be 10 points. Oh yeah, flies out an accident for Felix, and he's out of the race. That could be a safety car, and it's... No, he's just retired from the session. He didn't even crash. He retires there down at the end of the track, and that gives Drags. So that's Kimi that pitted, actually. He's on the hard tyres now. Down in P13 behind his teammate, trying to make a different strategy work. Meanwhile, John's right behind Dervas. We have a battle for the race lead here between Luigi Penguin and Dan. Is he going to go for a move, or is Dan going to have enough battery to fend him off? Great racing from the top guys here at the moment. Looking pretty smooth currently. Here comes John there in P8 battling with Dervas once again. This midfield fight's wonderful. Here comes Fabian though. Was he battling? It looked like for a second he was right behind Luigi Penga, but he made a mistake or something. Meanwhile, there go John and Dervas battling. Oh, Bonfo going past Psheng. Strip made a mistake, but he disconnected. Oh no, this is a massive championship implication for Psheng, who disconnects from the session. And he's not even, oh, he is online, okay. That's not good for him, he's going to lose loads of time to Ski now, he's coming up behind him. Oh, that's heartbreaking for Psheng, who very much could have been in the fight for the race, but Ski gets a 3-second penalty now for cutting the corner. He's going to have to serve that if he wants to get rid of it, of course. And Rubinon's already P9 as well. Hearing some communication. Oh wow, Luigi Penga really struggling for traction here. The rear tyres are having some excessive wear for Luigi Penga on lap 6 here at the moment. So this lead train fight. Bonfo meanwhile has dropped off from the leading cars after Schenk has disconnected. I still can't go out, and Schenk says it's over. Schenk is trying to join back. I'm trying to invite him back. Meanwhile, there goes John past Dervas into the final corner. And he goes down the inside. What the fuck? What the hell? Oh, that's Pshenk's. Oh, that's Pshenk who was getting overtaken by Dervas. Yeah, Pshenk did have the pace, and already Pshenk having an issue. Konzi saying he will come back, and I do believe he will. That's unfortunate for Pshenk. I think a safety car will put him back in the fight, but this is looking very unfortunate for Pshenk. He's now already back down to P9, battling with Rubinon now. His AI car going real slow now. He's got graham crackers now. He's in the points already. Up to P9. He's going to go past Rubinon as well. No, he's not. Meanwhile, Tabas, how goes Dervas and drive. Oh, that was almost a crash. I think there is damage on Dervas's car. On the left side, yes, there is. Dervas got front wing damage there in the battle for P6 with John, which they've been brought up into P6 anyway. So top 3 have broken away from the rest of the pack. It's Dan, Luigi Penguin, and Fabian. Fabian there really looking quick at the moment on the race pace, but so is Dan. So it looks like the two. Hey, what's up, John? I think you did. You turned in a bit early though. It was just a miscalculation in my opinion. From what I saw on the onboard, I was on Dervas's onboard, so I think you were fine. Bonfo there, chasing down the leading car once again, and Ski, as it stands, actually finished behind John because of his 3-second penalty. Meanwhile, Rubinon is right behind Dervas. He's really struggling now on his tyres at the moment, it looks like. And he hits the wall there because of the front wing damage, I think it was, sorry. He's struggling to stay in front of Rubinon, and also graham crackers on those hard tyres starting to come back now to him, and he's going to be really quick in this fight in the midfield. Dervas are trying his best to defend, very late, there's a bit of weaving from Dervas there, but still looking like he's keeping the place fairly on Rubinon. And Schenk already down to P10. He's got Hubert right behind him, his Polish friend. Oh, there goes graham crackers past Rubinon. Can he go past Dervas as well around the outside? Can he go for a double? It's 3 wide into the final corner. Oh, it's not going to be a crash, surely. Yes, it is. Dervas goes off and into the wall goes graham crackers. Unfortunate incident there, but they're still going. And Dervas, does graham crackers have damage? I don't think he has any visible damage, but Dervas there, another incident. Continues on, and graham crackers now does go past Rubinon. Into P7 goes graham crackers. He's chasing down John already. So graham crackers on the hard side looks really good. It goes Dervas down the inside. He sends it on Rubinon into the first chicane. And Rubinon will manage to fend him off, but still, the battle side by side continues on. Dervas on the inside now. They're still side by side heading down here. Because Dervas going to try again down the inside into this corner. He is. And they're still side by side. And he does manage to stay clean this time. Doesn't hit the inside wall. And now Rubinon does go to stay in P8 at this stage. But Dervas with that damage is really struggling to stay close to these cars around him after the contact into the wall. Oh, Fabian was very close to the wall there. Kimi's retired as he crashed. Oh, he retired in the pit lane. Oh, Kimi there on his first race of the season retires from the session. Unfortunate stuff. He had damage. That's a shame. Graham Crack's still looking pretty quick in the Red Bull. He's already gone from last to 7th. He's looking very quick at the moment in the Red Bull. Very smooth driving from him so far. Chases down John now, who is currently in P6. He's got much better tyres, of course, on the hards, just graham crackers. So when all these guys pit, you should be in a great position, actually, if there were a late safety car. We'll see how that goes. Here comes Fabian, though. Is he going to chase down the leading cars? Looking really close up front at the moment here between the top 3. It's going to be a battle going into the first corner. Shanks says it's definitely over. And if he means this race or the championship, but I think it's too early to say that, to be honest. But Shank's Wi-Fi once again betraying him in a position where he could have been in the fight for the win. Bonfo there, struggling to stay close to leaders. He's actually fallen off 3 seconds off the pace of everyone else. There's no battles on track currently besides the lead fight. And look, Grumcrackers is absolutely way faster. He's almost a second a lap faster at least than John. He was a second and a half quicker that lap. He's right behind him already. Grumcrackers on the hard tyres, looking very racy at the moment. But he needs to, close up quite gradually here to preserve his own tyres in his race, because it's still a matter of tyre saving. Getting on lap 10 wouldn't even be that bad of an idea, to be honest, for some of these front-running cars, wink wink, but we'll see what they manage to do. Oh, he is going to pit lap 10, says Luigi Penguin. Yeah, they don't want to double stack, they say. Dan's saying he wants to stay out longer. Luigi Penguin, they're still within DRS of Dan, though, so doing a good job nonetheless. We'll see if Fabian tries to undercut Dan. It would be a good idea for him, to be honest, because Fabian is very much in his undercut window. Undercuts are very powerful at Jeddah, of course, because of the effects of the tyre wear being so high. Meanwhile, Drag's come up to Shank's AI car. Grumcrackers is right behind John as well, so there's another fight going. Brewing FP6. John a very smooth corner, Grumcrackers not so much. But he's still within DRS range of John, it looks like. Opening the row wing now to chase him down for P6. Grumcrackers having a wonderful race. He's gone up loads of positions today. Up 7 places, and Fabian not with him. Fabian brakes too late. Brakes way too late now in the first corner. Fabian made a big mistake there. He struggles off the corner now. Fabian, though, continues to ski pits early. Onto the hard tyres. Must have been struggling with tyre wear or something. Maybe just wants to make something happen because he's really far behind these cars in front. Meanwhile, Grumcrackers there is now... Wait, what happened to Bonfire? Wait, did John pit? Oh, John did pit, that's what happened. Sorry, I was wondering what was going on. John pits then from being in front of Grumcrackers, trying to stay in front. See, not enjoying the tyre wear at the moment. The hards are a much better race tyre though, so this should be in his favour. Not just in front of Drags. And it pulls away. Yeah, the mediums are not very good at this track. The hards are much better. Then not only do they feel better, but they also just slightly quicker, to be honest, and even like 5 laps, they're just a quicker tyre. Ski there, who's just pitted, is already back on the back of Hubert for P7, and Rubenon's also right behind Grumcrackers. He's doing a great job as Rubenon today, once again, with some great pace in the Alpine. And the top 3 still very close together. Fabian had a great corner there, looking very close to the back of these cars in front. Meanwhile, Ski does go past Hubert now down the straight, gets a good exit and goes past into P7. Dan wants to stay out. Now, Dan did lose track position in Singapore when he stayed out, but at the same time, they don't want to double stack here at Aston Martin because that will fuck over Luigi Penguin's race when he very much has a chance to get a podium today. Looking very plausible. Fabi doesn't follow, he wants to be right behind Dan. I think he wants that DRS off Dan, and he very much is going to get it at this rate because he's already within 8 tenths, 7 tenths now of him now. And Luigi Penguin pits from P2 in the race onto the hard tyres. An early pit stop. He will undercut both the cars he's battling with at the moment, but trying to work with Dan for this race victory. We'll see how that goes. Bonfire there coming out in front, and now he's got Grumcrackers going past as Luigi Penguin. He's going to come out in P5. A very nice pit stop there. He comes out into a very nice bit of clean track. So the only place he has to overtake now is Grumcrackers on his old hard tyres. 10 laps older than the fresh tyres that Luigi Penguin is on now. Dan there has Fabian for company though. So Dan needs to be careful. Now one thing Fabian's good at is saving battery when he's close to the car in front. Because he has the confidence that he's quick enough to stay with him in DRS. Let's see how this goes here. Fabian then right behind Dan, chasing them down. The battle for the race victory is here from Shanks the Icon up. Oh, Fabian made a big mistake, sliding through the corners. He's really struggling for grip here on lap 11. This is very much within the pit window now. A lot of drivers have already pitted. Drags on the hards does not want to pit yet. I think that would be a suboptimal strategy, but he's not really running in the points anyway outside of the pit stop cycle. And now already Fabian is really struggling off the corners for traction, but he's being really aggressive trying to make moves here. Meanwhile, Luigi Penguin goes past Grumcrackers into P4, and Fabian will now chase down Dan for the race lead. Will he go for it down into the final corner? Is he going to send it? He does think about it, but Dan shuts the door on him in front, and now does preserve his race lead. Will Dan pit this lap, or will he stay out one more lap? I think he is going to pit. Is he going to fake him? No, he's going to come into the pit lane. So does Fabian. Fabian does not want to lose out to him here. Just like in season 13, they both pit together, and Grumcrackers actually benefiting from the DRS he's getting from Luigi Penguin now in front on those hard tyres. Of course, the tyres in much worse condition. Look how much better the traction is on those fresh tyres. Then Grumcrackers off the corner there as he pulls away. Will Luigi Penguin have undercut his teammate? Probably. Let's have a look. He has very... Oh, wow, look at the difference. It's like 3 seconds almost. And now they're going to come out behind Grumcrackers, so this is all going to be down to how well they get through the traffic. But only just, so maybe Dan can get on the exit here. Will he go around the outside? He's got a good exit off the pit lane. This is very big for his race. If he can get past him around the outside, he does. And now Fabian's going to be stuck in traffic now. And this is huge for Dan's race because this will massively affect the championship leader, which is Fabian. Will he go around the outside? Contact in the wall! Fabian crashes into the wall and loses his entire front wing. And the virtual safety car comes out. That's Fabian. Huge championship implication. The championship leader tried to overtake Graham Crackers, hit the side of his car and hit the wall, and lost his entire front wing in the process. That was massive in the championship. And now Graham Crackers has a chance to pit, but I don't think it'll be a very good idea. Much poised to win the race potentially with Luigi Punk and his teammate now being miles ahead of everyone else. And Bonfer, who's already pitted, is in a huge disadvantage now because he could have been gaining on these cars in front. He's actually lost track position to Ski, who pitted before him, by quite a substantial margin, but he's got that 3-second penalty. I don't know if he served it or not, but we'll see. But now Fabian's been behind all these guys, and that once again is going to have a huge championship implications, which is exactly what Dan needed. With all of his title rivals having a difficult race, Dan is going to be hoisted right back into championship contention. Ski down in P5. Fabian will be behind him after this, and then it will be Schenk who's outside the points as well. Fabian's going to be way down the order when he pits for a new front wing. The virtual safety car is going to end anytime now, and Fabian's going to have to pit for that new front wing and be way outside of the top 5. This is going to be huge for the championship, and he has no real tyres to go onto that will be very beneficial to his race because he's already gone to the hard tyres. So this is huge. I can't believe this happened. And I did predict going into this race a front-running car would crash in this race, and it would end up being Fabian, the championship leader. Once again, the championship leader curse continues, as you've seen all season long. And the VSC ends right before Fabian pits, which is even worse for his race now. He's going to lose all that time under the green flag. This is terrible news, but he will be able to come back on those fresher tyres than everyone else. We know Fabian is very good at facing adversity. We saw him with rear wing damage, finishing in the top 6 in Australia season 13. So we know Fabian can come back from these incidents. Yeah, no risk from this point in the race on. So Dan now is very much in the position to actually get himself into the championship lead. I wouldn't be surprised, but Ski is now be the person who's poised to get the championship lead at this stage. Just from being consistent once again. He hasn't even been the quickest driver by any stretch today, but he's just being the most consistent. And despite that, despite all the instances that there have been, at this rate, he would actually be the championship leader. So Ski looking to be the 4th championship leader this season, which would be a huge number of people in such a short span of time. 5 races and 4 championship leaders is crazy for an NPL season. This is really one of the best seasons of all time already. And Dan now, the only person battling a driver is actually Dan with his teammate. And now already Fabian's making quick work of the cars behind. So he's in the points still, thankfully for his race. But he's down in P9 on medium tyres, which will really struggle to get to the end of the race. So he's going to have to make quick work and make these tyres work while he can. And hope for another safety car, which is very plausible at a track like Jeddah. Meanwhile, Ski there is trying his best to close on him. Graham Crackers on his old tyres, who has yet to pit. And as it stands, he would actually be in a podium position right now. So I think Bonfer, though, on this fresher tyres could very well start making big progress on Ski for P3 here, looking to get a podium. But currently it's Luigi Punk leading down his teammate in his second NPL start, and this is a really good race from the top 2. The 2 Aston Martins have worked incredibly well together today in what has been peak teamwork. Fast start the race for Dan by a huge margin, almost half a second quicker than his teammate. I believe it was. Anyway, let's have a look. And Ski does go past Graham Crackers now down the straight quite easily, in fact, with that 3-second penalty. But he's still in P3 now, and it's a podium for Ski, which would give him the championship lead. And then he lets him pass, and Dan, being let by his teammate, goes into first place and looks to get his first win since Bahrain season 13, the first race of last season. So the top 2 working together. This is some great teamwork from the Aston Martins. This is something we'd love to see. Of course, Dylan, Dan's actual teammate, has not raced yet this season, but this reserve driver, Luigi Punk, has been proving himself to be a wonderful driver so far today. Really good teamwork from him and his teammate Dan, of course. Number 28 and number 24 leading the way. This would be only the second ever 1-2 for Aston Martin in NPL history, so at the moment looking very much on the card. Meanwhile, Fabian is already making quick work of Dervas and is chasing down Ruben on now for P7, but has to get those tyres to the end, so he's going to have to be really careful in the way he drives through the traffic. Meanwhile, Bonfer is right behind Graham Crackers, who still is yet to pit down in P4, but he wants to extend this stint as long as he can, and he probably can even more. Graham Crackers, I reckon, could get a top 5 at this rate, despite being on the back foot strategy-wise, but he can extend his stint now on those hard tyres because of that virtual safety car, so this has some big implications. He's bringing us still right behind Dan. This is... what happened? Oh, contact! The Graham Crackers there collided with Bonfer, it looks like, and spun around. I don't know what happened between those two, but now he's down to P5 and he lost a lot of time because of that. Meanwhile, Fabian's right behind Ruben on in his DRS and is doing what he can to come back through this field. Fabian now has a big gap after this to chase down his teammate John for P6 and still preserve his championship lead. I think at this rate he would still be the championship leader Only, actually no, he wouldn't, sorry, it would be Ski, but it would be just about ahead of Dan now, who'd be way back in championship contention, ahead of Shank now for P3 in the standings. So Dan would jump from P5 to P3 in the standings in one race at this rate. And looks very quick. He's also got fastest lap. Well, Fabian beats it though is the question. Might do this lap, he does not. Only getting a clean track to do so. But Fabian now into P6 in the McLaren, looking really quick at the moment on his medium tyres, gets the purple last sector and continues on his way. 2-lap old tyres he's on now. Chasing down his teammate John for P5. Those mediums have got to get to the end though, so he's going to really struggle to do that, but this is really good for Dan at the moment in the championship fight. No risk needs to be taken here in this massive race in Jeddah for the championship. Ruben on there, still right behind Fabian. Even he can stay close. He's got Dervas behind him on 2-lap older tyres, but he's running in the top 10 currently. Groundcrackers did actually pit with 11 laps to go, so he's going to do quite a long stint on those mediums actually, but he should be much quicker than the cars in front, and I think because it's the end of the race, the tyre wear is slightly lower with a lower fuel load, less load on the tyre. Yeah, no, but I mean, like, this is the second stint, not the first stint. Like, that's what I mean. Like, this is the second half of the race. He's on medium tyres to the end, so that's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, Ruben on still actually was surprisingly close to staying within DRS of Fabian. He's way faster than his teammate. At this rate, Fabian would breeze into P4, I think. He's about a second lap quicker, 2 seconds lap quicker even, than both cars in front of him, so looking pretty good. But Ski has actually checked out in P3, way ahead of Bonfo, looking for his third podium in a row for Ski, who won the last 2 races, looking to get P3 today and continue his championship charges just by staying out of drama. Much like myself last season, Ski is keeping himself in championship contention, is about to take the lead of the championship as of right now. And Dan, I just want to commentate. I just got bored of racing, so I went to commentate instead. I mean, I won last season's championship. I won 9 championships in NPL, so I just wanted to race. Oh, thank you. I like commentating. It adds something to the series that I don't usually get to add. So, yeah, basically. Oh, was that yellow flag for Drags? Drags' house front wing damage, but there's someone else who's had an issue. Was that Hubert? I think it was in the first corner. Has spun around, and a safety car now would be massively change the complexion of this race. But we'll see what happens. I think there is. Yeah, mediums would be the best bet at this stage, but Tatsu continuing on their way. Luis Penguin looking to get his first career podium today, which would be, I think, our 4th different driver to get their first ever career podium in this season. We've had Jan, Bonfo, Ski, and Luis Penguin all getting their first career podium this season, as of right now anyway. So let's see how this goes. For him, I hope he does get this first career podium today. I think looking very likely. He's got a 10-second lead over the car in P3, which is Ski, who also has that 3-second penalty. Damn, I'm spitting bars right now. Anyway, Groundcrackers in P9, chasing down Dervas. Can he go past him here? Yeah, for real. Groundcrackers there being nice and patient on Dervas. Both of these drivers are controller players, I believe. Wait, Groundcrackers, you're a controller player, right? Okay, yeah. So the 2 controller players battling for P8 currently. Ruben on once again proving why he's one of the best midfield drivers. He's just comfortably running in P7, driving his race. He's very clean. Yeah, flags. Drags has crashed, and that's a safety car. Oh, Bonfo pitted right as that happened. That was really good reaction. I think he pitted before that. So Bonfo, he changed the front wing. So Drags is out of the race, and that means the safety car is deployed, and now those drivers have already gone past the safety car, so they're going to have to pit after. Mediums will be the best tire to go onto, but now the thing is with Aston Martin, luckily, because they have such a big gap, they could afford to double stack and still be in front of Ski in P3, so this is really working out nicely for these guys, as long as they don't get damaged or exceed the delta at the moment, which is our main concern. Schenk would have a great opportunity to join back right now if he wanted to, because of the safety car. If he'd like to, wink wink, please join back. What John? I don't think he is, no. Was it? I couldn't tell, to be honest. It was in a weird place, but I don't know if it was on purpose. I didn't see. So Bonfo was kind of unlucky with the timing of that safety car. He had to pit for damage, but now he's down to P8 in the race, giving Fabian P4 now, and he will likely stay out, actually. Actually, will he stay out or will he pit again? I think he may as well pit again to give himself a chance to win, because now Ski will be in the fight. Also, he has no tyres to use, so Fabian will have to stay out in this situation on old mediums, which could put him vulnerable to the cars behind. So this race is getting more interesting as it goes. And now the double stack continues. Ski is in the pit lane now, only just getting in right as Luis Penguin is about to finish his pit stop. He goes onto hard tyres. Interesting. So Luis Bang opts to use the hard tyres. He would, I think softs could have been a good option. They would have restart with like 6 laps to go, so we're going to try that, but not going to risk anything. Going onto hards. And Ski does too. Ski goes onto hards. Will he come out in front of Fabian is the question. This is going to be really close between these two. Into the first chicane. Can Ski get out in front? He does get out in front just about over Fabian. That's got huge for his race. Did Ski service penalty is the question. I don't think he did. The Fabian's tyres are fried. He's a 5 lap of mediums. Everyone else, Ruben did not pit. Grumcrackers stays out. Bonfair has already pitted. Shank could join back and still come. I should message Shank to join back. I don't know if he's still on the board. Where is... Fabian in his ego arc since he started leading the championship. What? Oh yeah, it is an Aston Martin 123 with the safety car. Oh, Shank is back. I didn't realise Shank's been back for 20 minutes. My bad. Did he not pit? Why is he staying out on 7 lap old hard tyres? He's got no other tyres to use or something? Both should have pitted, I can't lie. Then again, Ruben did stay out on the hard tyres. He wants that track position because I think he's prioritising track position over outright pace at this stage, because honestly at this track you see a lot of midfield carnage, especially in late race safety cars, as we've seen in the past, like in season 11 where we saw I think 3 safety cars at the end of the race. Meanwhile Grumcrackers is side by side with Ruben on the safety car. What's going on there? And he does let him back past, but yeah, so at the moment it is Dan from pole position who still leads from his teammate who's qualified second. Oh, Shank says he has no tyres and nothing to lose on some Sigma shit. Dan in P8 looking to fend off John, who is his title rival's teammate, of course, also for the constructors. Not looking great for Williams. P8 and P10 currently. Only 5 points to their name. But still looking plausible for the race to go their way. Meanwhile, his fastest lap for Dan still. The 10th quicker than even Fabian. So it looks like Dan is, despite being on the hard tyres when he set that lap, looks to be the quickest driver. He did get DRS in fairness, but so did Fabian. So Dan looks like the favourite to win this race in the end. And he won here in Jeddah in season 12. Oh, you didn't have to... Oh, Dan, I thought you had DRS on your teammate when you got fastest lap, Dan. Oh, you were on hards, to be fair. So, Fabian did not have DRS. I thought he did because he was in traffic when he was sort of on those mediums. Oh, so Fabian did improve the lap after he was in the traffic on a clean lap. So, Fabian, in fairness, his tyres would have been a bit more worn out then. So, it's pretty even between Dan and Fabian pace-wise. Then again, Fabian was on the mediums when he set that lap, and Dan was on hards with DRS, so it's pretty, yeah, let's say pretty similar. As it was shown in the start of the stint, I mean, oh, big collision in the back, and that's John and my screen anyway. What the fuck happened there? John's going inside people. What is going on? Why is he going through Pshenk? Oh, Pshenk got ahead of Pshenk? John just got an overtake on Pshenk under the safety car somehow. I think Pshenk's not going to be very happy about that, I'm not going to lie. What the fuck? It's interesting. So John on his AI mode just went past Shank. Interestingly. I'm going to commend this lap because the whole field's caught up already, so this should be fine for us to see a restart this lap. In this lap, I predicted it. It happens whenever there is a late safety car. It's just good for Lichbang actually because he's on our hard tyres. So is Ski actually. So Fabian is going to have to make use of his old used mediums to sort of get in this fight for P2, maybe even the win against Dan on his fresh mediums out in front, who will likely help his teammates stay in second place by giving them the DRS. They are ready to go here. Bonfair is right behind Grumcracker, so looking to get in this fight. Schenk is also back, I should mention if anyone was not paying attention, but he's now on P9 as John's AI car overtook him. No contact in the safety car, and Dan goes now and leads the way on the restart. Ski has a great restart though. The driver opting for the championship lead here, going after the race lead and go after second place anyway on Lichbang for turn 1. Running outside, can he go? That's a great restart. That's side by side into the first corner goes Ruben. He completely missed the corner, and Grumcrackers goes into P5. Ruben in one corner loses 3 places, and Ski still side by side, but he backs out and stays in P3 now. As it stands, I think Fabian will be on the podium and will preserve his championship lead actually because of the 3 seconds he has. but Graham Crackers now on those fresher mediums than Fabian is now in a chance to get a podium. I have to say that it goes wide, but still stays in front of Bonfo, who's on those fresh medium tyres. John is also on fresh mediums, and it's, once again, as literally happened the whole season, is battling with Bonfo for a position, and it's 6-7 no less. Wonderful stuff. You can't make this up. Rouge Penguin there, still right behind Dan, and Fabian on those old mediums is struggling to stay close, because actually got Graham Crackers is closer to him than he is to Ski in front, so we'll see how this goes. And still though, Fabian is staying in front of Graham Crackers for now. Meanwhile, battle between Shank and Ruben on. What's going on here? John there, side by side with Bonfo, around the outside, can he go with the battery alone? Which seems like a waste of battery to go for that before the DRS is enabled, but nevertheless, side by side through this corner. That surely went in well, but no, John goes round the outside and gets the move to stick. Is that illegal or is it not? It's legal. Good stuff, Bonfo, great racing. Meanwhile, Hubert's battling with Dervas, who's now down to P11 and is struggling at this stage of the race. I think he has no front wing damage anymore though, so at least there's that. Shank there, struggling, sliding into the final corner there. Of course, doesn't use ABS, so he's going to lock up a bit. He's now chasing down Bonfo for P7. Graham Crackers is currently on 6 lap old mediums, and John's on 3 lap old mediums, so they're very similar, not very similar, I should say. 3 lap difference between them. Bonfo is on 4 lap old mediums, so 1 lap older, but also pitted under the safety car, or just before, I should say. Meanwhile, Ruben is battling with Hubert for P9, and then side by side, there was almost a crash off the corner. Front wing damage for Ruben, by the way. Got a terrible restart on those hard tyres. He should not have stayed out. Dervas thought about moving on the inside, but was not close enough to try it. John, though, is right behind Graham Crackers and chasing them down for P5 in what has been a really close race between these guys. As it stands, actually, Ski will finish behind Graham Crackers, but I think he's losing out now. He does lose out to that 3-second penalty. And Fabian is really struggling on those old tyres to stay close to the cars in front, much like Abu Dhabi. At the end of the race, something has phased him to the point where he just can't stay close. In that race, it was front wing damage. This race, it's just the older tyres. Can't seem to stay close. He's just about got DRS with Ski there right behind. Yeah, he does have DRS. Does he? Yes, he does. So, Rouge does stay in DRS. And Ski still continuing his charge down up the field. And Fabian, though, in losing DRS, he has officially lost DRS, and this is huge for the race. John, his teammate there, is chasing down Fabian. What's the move here for McLaren? Because it looks like John is quicker on this 5-lap pressure tyres, but he's got Bonfo and Graham Crackers for company behind. It was a great battle for P5 at the moment. There comes Graham Crackers now to the inside of John. Goes for it down the inside in the final corner. He got to think about that DRS detection point. Will John get it though? I think John did get DRS, and he does indeed. And now John will have DRS on Graham Crackers. Should be sitting duck on the straight. I think Bonfo might get Graham Crackers too, actually. We'll see. Right, think about it. It's a 3-way battle for P5. And John there just pulling them along, hopefully trying to get close to his teammate. And already Fabian could lose P3 already to Ski in front. And that would give Ski just a little bit of a closer chance to get that championship lead. He's also looking relentlessly quick, right behind Rouge Penguin for P2. It seems like Ski just sort of drives way better at the end whenever there's a late safety car. He just suddenly locks in and then sort of goes way fast. I don't know why, but there you go. Fabian's old tyres are really struggling now. John is caught about 8/10 on his teammate this lap alone. He's got purple first sector, supposedly. Tyres much like in Singapore. That's quite funny you say that, Dan, but anyway. Dan being a little bit on the edge there through that corner. He needs to be very careful at this stage because he does not want to cost himself a win that he's pretty much led every single lap of this race, I should say. Here comes Ski, sending it through the corner. Is he going to try and move on Rouge Penguin this lap? It just seems that DRS train just really is so effective for Aston Martin. They just literally are impenetrable at the moment. And it proves the point that this game has a huge problem with that. I'm being told to pit for some reason, but he's going to stay out nonetheless. Meanwhile, Bonfo's battling with Graham Crackers. I forgot to mention he goes around the outside in the final corner. Meanwhile, Shank's catching back up to these guys, and Hubert's battling with Dervas and goes right behind him. But Graham Crackers here, should he get past Bonfo here on the straight? He might just about get him with the DRS. Let's have a look. See inside he's going to go. Meanwhile, Fabian is officially in P4. Side by side into turn 1 on the inside goes Graham Crackers. Bonfo sends it around the outside and gets back into P6. Great racing between them. And meanwhile, Hubert gets past Dervas. Will he actually? There's still side-by-side contact and almost a spin. Dervas goes launched off the track, and they're still side-by-side off the corner, almost hitting each other off the turn as well. Dervas almost hitting him once again now with Hubert, and this is gonna end badly at this rate. Oh, side-by-side. Dervas still, look at this battling in the first sector, still side-by-side as they go, and Dervas side-by-side with. Oh wow, great racing with Hubert there for P9. That was incredible racing between them, side-by-side for the whole first sector, and Dervas just manages to fend him off for one more lap. John there, right behind his teammate already. John, what can John... I mean, John might end up... Thing is, though, if John doesn't overtake Fabian, the cars behind will catch back up because Fabian's way slower than all three of them, so this could be really problematic for McLaren. So team order said John wants to tow along Fabian and the DRS whilst not allowing Bonfo and Graham-Crackers to catch him. Meanwhile, Prashank is back within DRS range of Graham-Crackers for P7, so he's got a chance to get back in this fight. And John goes past his teammate Fabian, who has plenty of battery to use to defend in the situation. And Bonfo in P6 continues on his way, trying what he can. And here we go off the corner. Meanwhile, Fabian doing a great job. Still, Dan is leading the race, and it just looks so controlled right now for him. With 2 laps remaining in the race, it's looking really close at the moment between these guys. Fabian there right behind John, and Bonfo will do anything he can to catch up to the cars in front. He just wants to get back up there. He can probably get past Fabian, who really is struggling on those older tyres. Bonfo there is slightly quicker than Fabian at the stage. He should be slower than John. Meanwhile, Devas and Hubert are battling once again in the first corner. Devas gives him space, and Hubert goes back past around the outside, and he does lose the place to Hubert now. They both have the same tyre life, so this is a true battle for position between them. Devas hits the wall again, just a little bit on the inside wall. No damage on the car. Sliding, really struggling for grip as Devas there on those 7-lap old mediums at the end of this race. As he sends it through the first sector, trying to stay close to Hubert in about 59. So, team orders asked Martin to hold position for Dan's championship. There is actually some team orders at McLaren as well, as John is towing Fabian along, and Bonfo just narrowly missed out on DRS there on that lap, which is huge for his race, because at this rate, I think Bonfo is going to struggle to get past. Graham-Crackers actually fallen off a cliff in pace now compared to Bonfo, who's pulling away, and now he has Prashank to worry about. This is good for Prashank's championship chances now. He's lost a lot of points to his rivals today. He needs to get back past Graham-Crackers at the end of the race, so he's going to go for it now, much like season 13. John goes by now. Still. And Dan looking completely fine at the moment at the front of the field. But Ski's still right behind me. He's got that penalty. I don't think he served it, so Ski does very much have that 3 seconds to serve. You know, John there is right next to Fabian. Fabian defends. I think they'll be fine, to be honest with Bonfo. Lost a lot of time in that straight because he didn't have enough ERS to stay close when they had the DRS. So actually gained loads of time in the first chicane though because they weren't sure what to do. Meanwhile, Shank's out behind once again off the corner, so he needs to save battery and try again on those hard tyres. Very old hards. 14 lap old tyres he's on right now. Doing a great job to stay so close. Jan now is in the Discord. So on the final lap of the race, it's looking pretty close. Meanwhile, Luigi is still right behind Dan. Oh no, Graham-Crackers at the curb again. The curb of doom and despair at Jeddah, and he goes off and gives Prashank P7 at the end. That's such a shame for Graham-Crackers after such a strong race. But here comes Fabian though, on his teammate John, who's trying to hold on to P4, but for the championship's sake, I think he may give the place back to Fabian. And Bonfo though is within DRS range of the cars in front. This is going to be an exciting end to the race. Bonfo has much better tyre life than both the cars in front, but John and Fabian are doing a great job working together at this end of the race. And team orders to stay in front. It looks like Dan is going to fend off Luigi Penguin at the end, unless he wants to go for a move at the end of the race. We'll see. That's saving battery at the end, but it looks like Dan with an incredible drive, working with his teammate. Here comes Ski on the inside though, a little bit of contact. Meanwhile, Fabian breezes past, and Dan, with the incredible teamwork of Luigi Penguin, gets his first victory in 21 races and wins the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. With Luigi Penguin in second, Ski in third, Fabian with some great team orders at the end, finishes in fourth place, P5. No, Dervas crashed out at the end. He retired rather. He retired from the session, and Dan wins the race and puts himself right back into championship contention. He gained a huge astronomical, what was it, 13 points? 14? 14 points on his teammate. Sorry, 14 points of Fabian in the championship fight, which is massive for Dan, and gets ahead of Schenk in the standings as well in the process. I believe he did anyway. So Dan with a wonderful race gets himself to P3 in the standings behind Ski and Fabian. He finished P4. He had a tough race at the end, but he just got P4. John never took me on the safety car, and to be honest, if he'd given a penalty, given the place back, is it a penalty? His AI card did that. There is nothing against that in the rules, though. Shank, I think John did do that. Yes, Ski, serving 3 seconds under the safety car does count, so that penalty does count. But to be honest, it makes no difference anyway. You still finished third, and you would have finished third anyway, so you don't get any penalty points for 3 seconds, so you're chilling. So there it is. What a podium. First career podium for Luigi Penguin. Gets second place, working with Dan to give him a victory here. His second win in Jeddah. and looks to get himself back in title contention. I predicted Dan to win this race, and he did. My prediction for tomorrow is that Harry's going to win Canada. Well, let's have a look. Um, yeah, Louis Shanker could have won the race if he tried, but uh, chose to work with Dan to give him the maximum points in the championship. Very humble driving from Louis Penguin to hand Dan the win there. Bonfo finished in P6. So, as it stands, Dan gets 27 points. He got maximum points this weekend, I believe. Yes, he does indeed. Very big for Dan's championship chances, and that will definitely give him some confidence heading into Canada that he can be a true championship contender. But don't forget the championship leader curse. Fabian is still the championship leader, just about over Ski, who gains 3 points on him. So now the gap is only 3 points for the leader of the championship in NPL season 14. What a season we're having. And Sheng lost a lot of points there to both his title rivals. He lost a total of 9 points. I should definitely forget my last 2 races. No words. Yeah, Sheng definitely has had a difficult last 2 races this season, but that's the product of not practicing. I've got to be honest with you. One of which was not his fault because, of course, it was, his internet. That was just unfortunate. He definitely could have got on the podium today. I think he was going to get a podium if it weren't for that. And then there was, of course, Abu Dhabi. I don't know what happened there, race actually, but difficult stuff. Rubinon does get P10. Woohoo! Rubinon the GOAT in the Alpine gets P10. B race? What do you mean? Oh, yeah, CB didn't race. No, he's not racing. He never races, really. He'll race tomorrow, I think. He's for a fun fact for you, though, Jan, he won last time we went to Canada, so good luck tomorrow. Another day than last season. That's some wise words, Jan. Anyway, Luigi Penguin there could have won his first career win, but chose to help down in the championship. That's very humble. Great job, Luigi Penguin, on your first podium in your career and just your second start. You can definitely win races in this league. I think you should try and get a win next time because that'd be really cool. Also, I think this race proves that this league is very clean when it's normal racing. I can't lie. Yeah, see, this league is peak. It's like the best amateur racing. That one race you did happens to be the most chaotic race you've ever had. Yeah, that was a really strong race. That was definitely you were probably the quickest driver today. I can't lie. Yeah, you and Dan were great teammates. So Aston Martin get their second ever 1-2 finish, their first in Singapore season 5, race 5. This is also race 5. Fun fact: 9 seasons later, they do it again. Oh, wait, it was race 6. My bad. Or race 4? What was it? It was race 4, wasn't it? Oh, there it is. That's over then. Now I'm Dan's teammate again. Dan, don't worry. If I was in your position, in that position, I would have helped you go for the championship too. Because honestly, I'm sick of it. See, if Luigi Penguin could race full time, he could genuinely be a championship contender with that kind of pace. Would be a championship contender. Yeah, good stuff, man. Yeah, and by the way, Graham Crackers went from last to eighth, so be happy that he went from 14th to eighth in that race. Yeah, that was unfortunate. He was going to get, I think, P5 in that rate with the strategy you were on. But yeah, anyway, that's the end of the stream. We'll see you tomorrow for the Canadian Grand Prix race 6 and also F2 tomorrow as well at the same track, so don't go anywhere. Dan gets himself to championship contention. I'll do the points in NPL now, and it's going to be really close going into the next race.